Okay, before we get to chat questions, AJ's one-day scouting extravaganza continues here at Scouching.
Absolutely.
Draft content is starting to take off a little bit more and more teams get eliminated. So, AJ, we went through two players today.
Yes.
The first one, I don't know if you want to go one by one.
Sure.
We took a look at the first one you saw was Alfons Freij.
Yes.
Alfons Freij is a defenseman for the Vaxjo Lakers junior team in Sweden. One of my favorite players in the draft. Honestly, right now he's fifth on my list right now, which seems crazy, but I haven't liked a bunch of guys more than him this year. So AJ, you watched Alfons Freij this morning. 30-second rundown. What do you got?
30 seconds. You know how long I talk.
Yeah, I do.
He's awesome. I had a lot of fun watching him. As soon as I saw him, like I messaged Will, I'm 2 shifts in and I already know this is a guy I like. Because he's just so good. He's mobile. He's able.
I like him because he's good.
No, but it's true.
It is. Yeah, no, I know. It's
there
just
are
funny.
so many times where I thought, okay, this guy is going to get beat on this entry here. And then he just uses his edges to pivot and is able to use his stick to just free the puck up. Like, there was never a controlled entry, it felt like, when Alfons Freij was on the ice. He was just so good at disrupting play before it got to the blue line. They never got set up. And he's awesome on the puck, too. It's like he's great at managing pressure. He just keeps guys guessing, like forecheckers guessing a lot. And he'll make the correct play. I think he missed 2 pass attempts the entire game I saw. And when he jumped up into the offensive zone, he was just cycling, like he was going around, doing his thing, not hurting the team either. Like when I watched Levshinov, it's just he got puck, he shoot puck. Get puck, shoot puck. Get puck, shoot puck. With Freij, he was threading. Like he was threading the puck to really dangerous spaces. I think he even got an assist, but like he was just phenomenal. I cannot say like a heap enough praise on him. Like that is a good modern defenseman, a guy that you can put next to a top end guy on a top pair, and just have as your second defenseman, and you're gonna feel very confident with him over the boards. I really love him.
Yeah, I'm glad because I had a feeling you would. Honestly, like just such a dynamic guy. I mean, and again, I feel like we talk about this almost every show because I feel like a guy like Zane Parekh comes up all the time, and we'll get to him eventually, but he comes up all the time because of the concerns around his profile. And when you look back in previous drafts, like who are the defensemen that are offensive leaning but actually work? And I feel with Freij, he's the exact, you look at Quinn Hughes, right? Like Quinn Hughes, when he was drafted, I will admit, like he was more of an offensive leaning guy for sure. He's obviously an offensive defenseman now and scoring a ton of points, but it's also partially because he's using his skating and mobility and footwork to play defensively much better as well. And with Freij, like he kind of already does that. Like the whole thing with like physical strength in him, I would say is not the best. It's not a high point of his game, but it doesn't, like, to me, he's one of those players where it just doesn't matter. Like I don't really care.
It gets stronger too, right? Like you've got time to develop that physically, but this is a guy who never gives up on a play. Like, I actually thought he was beat. Beat. He fell over and he still poked the puck free and got it away from the net. Like he
finds a way.
Him.
So yeah, I've loved Alfons Freij since last season. I am also talking about him a lot to be on the record before the U18s, and I feel like he'll be good there and have more eyes on him, and then people might, like I have him in my tracker list of rankings that I built, and I think he's been ranked 16 out of the 22 that I track. And he's been left off of some serious lists here, right? Like he's 5 on my list. Elite Prospects had him at 26. Craig Button, though, 50. Scott Wheeler, 51. Who else is on here? Both Sportsnet people haven't had him ranked. The Hockey News doesn't have him ranked.
This is a left-handed defenseman playing on the right side.
Every shift.
Able to just not, like, they don't even come close to touching him, it feels like, when he's got the puck. Yeah. He's so good at managing the pressure on his backhand. Backhand.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
Like
he rules.
I have not seen a better defenseman this year. And granted, my sample's very limited. It is very limited.
He's the number one guy on my list, right? Like he's the number one defenseman on my list right now.
I'm willing to stick my neck out and say that because I just haven't. I haven't seen anybody better that way. I really like
especially
him.
consistently.
Yeah, and he's just
like every single
mobile,
shift, he's insane.
In my eyes.
The other one we looked at was another one that everybody else seems to really like in Tij Iginla.
Mm-hmm.
So Tij Iginla for me is ranked. Where is he on my
my
list right
segment,
now?
Will?
I'm just setting the stage. He's 11th on my list right now. So take it away. Go nuts. Have your time.
He was all right. I'll be honest. Like there were times where he just disappeared. At other times, he looked really good, but to me, just not always involved in the play. If the puck came near him, he'd get involved and like really try to get it, but he was never like being super supportive. Like there was one time where there was a puck was trapped in the boards in the corner, and he was kind of supposed to be the support, and he was quite a ways away. He did get to the puck and was able to chip it out, but it's like just seems to me like a guy that's not as defensively intense. There's definitely some skill there, but he tries to do it all on his own a lot of the times, and he was just because I watched 2 games against Everett, and they just kept picking him apart in transition. They just knew that he was going to try and like go through 4 of them, and he never got through. I think the one shot he got through was on the very first shift I saw like that, and he just ripped a slap shot while he was in motion, like while he was skating. And I mean, he could be an interesting player. It's just not necessarily a guy that I'm clamoring to draft by any means.
Yeah, I mean, with Tij Iginla, I would generally agree. I think I think you may have seen maybe one of the worst games. Did you watch one or a couple?
I watched 2.
I wouldn't say that he is spectacular, but I do think there is a certain level of like not certainty, but very much interest that he'll be a good energy guy for an NHL team. And I think the shot is what everybody talks about, but I feel like that's because he just has a lot of goals. I think that the bigger thing with him is just the work rate that he has. He's got a lot of energy in his game. He drives his offense in a pretty well-rounded way. A lot more of his offensive production from what I've seen at 5-on-5 is actually through his passing. I don't think Kelowna is particularly great overall. Like he's getting shelled shot wise in the games I've done of him.
Yes.
But his transition numbers are really good, right? Like he
gains he gains the zone. Like he would gain the zone pretty easily, but he'd just continue on and not pass off or defer.
Yes.
And that's where he got in trouble. Like he gained the blue line fine. It's just then once he couldn't set up properly after gaining it.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like he kind of lacks he doesn't really drive a whole lot of shot assists, like not really driving a whole lot of offense for his teammates. But he is doing a lot himself. Like he's really doing a lot himself and working hard doing it, right? Like I think I think he'll get drafted higher than I would take him. I don't think that's controversial. But he's a good player, man.
Yeah, I don't hate him.
He's all right. Like it's an energy guy. Like, and the more you do this, I think the more you'll see just how uncertain a lot of these guys are. You just like some games or some shifts or games, you just go, what is happening? And then others you go, okay, I could see why people like this guy. But with Tij Iginla, I feel like in general, you get the same thing. At least that's my impression every game I've seen him.
Yeah, no, I could see a guy who slots into a top 9 role who's just there to kind of score every now and then.
Yeah.
And be a bit more intense. And that's fine, but I'm not taking him over Alfons Freij. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to stand Alfons Freij for the rest of the year because that guy is insane. I'm probably going to go back and watch another game because he's just so much fun to watch. It looks like he's dancing on the ice.
Yeah, I have no qualms about you watching him instead of doing work for me at all. It's great stuff. He's a lot of fun.